Welcome to Extra presented by VDG Sports. I am your host, Vince Douglas Gregory. No filter. Very censored. Definitely, most definitely not in energy conserving mode. However, just a tad bit sore, but that's neither here nor there. For every choice you make, there are pros and cons, and there are consequences for every action, even if you think that there's no such thing or that such thing does not exist. It really does. It truly does. You may not see it or you may not accept it, but it's there. Noobs, thank you. Even if you're gone already, thank you for giving me the opportunity. Thank you for giving me a chance. That's all I can ever ask for. That's all I ever want was an opportunity. Even if it was a mistake that you came here, that's okay. I tried. I failed, but I didn't fail to try. So I'm okay with that. I am okay with that. Regs, we back at it again. Regs, we do what we do. Regs, this feels like every single day, but it's not every single day. It just feels that way. We got this special, unique bond. Sharing is caring, but you can't share everything. You can't share everything. And we don't know what to call this unique bond. We truly don't. One day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, 1 decade, 1 century, one, etc., millennia, you got to keep going on and on, but we will figure it out. And once we do, I have no shame in saying that that's what it always was. We just didn't have the proper knowledge, the proper input to say what it is. But that's okay. We can rewrite history. We can come back to the past from the future and correct this wrong. However, you shouldn't make contact with yourself. You should avoid distorting timelines. You really, truly should. For every action, there's a reaction. Proven, yeah. You might accept, you might agree. If you don't, that's okay. No judge zone. I ain't judging. I just make observations. And there's pros and cons to every action, pros and cons to every reaction, pros and cons to basically anything. In other words, there's positives and negatives. You can't have one without the other. You have the other without one. It's like the balance. Everything, I'm not going to say equals out because it may or may not, but there's an equal amount that's available, whether you accept or say it's bad or whether you accept and say it's good, it's there. It's an equal amount that equals to 0, whether it's -1, whether it's +2, and that's a pro, that's a con, that's a action, that's a reaction. There has to be some sort of balance. And if there isn't a balance, there's an imbalance, and you can go just all the way in one direction or all the way in another direction or somewhere in between. But we usually hover around the median. We usually hover around the middle. We usually hover around plus or minus, I should say, plus or minus somewhere in the 50s. Somewhere up in there. And I say all of this to try to make the case, not for you, and that's the you plural, but to just go ahead and just try to give some free advice. Free advice. Bird-like voice. And this is not something that kept me up at night, but this is one of those see something, say something. And so I saw something, and now it's time for me to say something. It's time for me to let my observations be known. And this observation in particular kind of led me down this path. It is not a rabbit hole, and is not an unattended consequence. This is an observational path, maybe to help those who need help, to help because I like helping. And that's why it's free, and that's why it's advice, and that's why it is here for the taking. Oh, yeah, it is. And it's a no judge zone. And that's what mostly led to this. Because I was singing, I was dancing, I was making my chest pop in the G-Ride, doing what it do. I would have been upset, I would have been mad if I didn't have my tunes on, if I was in discovery mode. But as you know, right now, I'm not in discovery mode. I am listening to my jams, my jammy jams, the one that make me happy. So if I'm happy inside the G-Ride, in my happy place, doing my two-step, doing my moves, doing the slide and doing all those other things that make me feel amazing. And amazing is my favorite word. Then there's not too much that can get me upset. Then there's not too much that can make me feel some kind of way or give me all of my feelings. And don't worry, it wasn't no Drakey Drake. Don't worry, it wasn't no computer algorithm that was going to control my mood. I was all in control. I was picking and choosing what I want to listen to. I was picking and choosing what I wanted to hear because I was in my zone, my place. That's happy. That's happy. Well, while I was in this place, I am super, yes, duper aware of my surroundings because that's how it goes. That's what I do. And I realized that the person in front of me was just kind of casually going through what they do. And that led me to, this is how it is when you accept the matrix. But that's okay. Everybody can't see the matrix. Everybody can't take the same path. Everybody can't want the same thing. Everybody can't be the same. We humans, we ain't robots. In fact, yeah, we humans, we ain't robots. I'll leave it at that. Even though some of you think I'm a robot, some of you think I'm a cyborg, some of you think that I am just plain boring. That's okay. That's fine. We can have good opinions. We can have great opinions. We can have bad opinions. It's cool. It's all right. But I'm not a robot. So I'm definitely not a robot. Human, not a cyborg that I know of as of yet. And the reason while I'm getting to this and setting this up this way, because that person was just in life, just living it and not a care, not aware, not focused on anything that was going on, just on autopilot. And I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. And the reason why it led me to hear and bring this up is not because I'm angry, not because I'm mad, because I was inside the G-Ride doing my happy dance, not my money man dance, but my happy dance in the happy place, in my zone. It just got me to thinking because I am super aware of everything that's happening and taking place while also pondering things. And what came to mind, there is a consequence to just being on autopilot. Autopilot has its pros and cons. If you're on autopilot, the pro of autopilot is you don't have that many worries. You are not necessarily focused. You are mostly being reactionary if you care to be reactionary. So you are just going with the flow and you don't even recognize the flow, or you don't really care for the flow because you don't really see that it's needed or see that it's there. That's okay. That's a pro to that. If I could be on autopilot for some things, I definitely go to autopilot for some things. Like selective hearing, just go ahead and press my button, autopilot. Selective hearing, okay, this person's done talking. Press the button again, autopilot, deactivated. Wait a minute, I sound like a robot. Scratch that. Don't pay attention to the deactivated part. How about autopilot, disengage? That sounds worse. How about this? Autopilot, no more. There we go. That's definitely human sounding. And so if I could do that on having selective hearing with certain people, yeah, that's cool. That's great. And I'm not talking about people that I want to conversate with. I'm talking about people that are just not necessarily preaching or to the choir. And it's a saying, folks. It is a saying. It's basically saying things that you want to hear, saying things that people want to hear. No, 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 no. I'm talking about the randos that just come up and want to hoodwink you or try to get over on you or try to do something with the consequence being for you, that is not good, not great. Nefarious actors, how about that for the final answer? I'd utilize my autopilot for that. And the con to being on autopilot is you're not focused, you're not aware. Just about anything can happen and take place, and you would not see it coming. You would not really know. You would not understand. And so that's the con of that. And some people are okay with that. This is a judge-free zone. So if that's you, that's good. That's great. Live your life. Do that. But that's not the only one, by the way. That's just one of many. I think I'll point out maybe another one, but the overall arching theme of this is to say there are pros and cons to everything. There's a balance that is needed for everything. You just can't say that it's something is all good all the time. That just can't happen. That's not even logical if you want to even take it out to its logical conclusion. Or bad all the time. Same difference. And those who are driven, those who are extremely, extremely on edge, maybe a little neurotic, but not necessarily or not really. How about this? I'll just say those are focused, those who are awareness game leveled up. And if they're so focused and they're so aware of their surroundings and everything that's happening, the pro of that is they'll see everything coming. They'll see most things coming. They will see most things coming. So it's something that they necessarily won't be shocked or surprised by if something was just to occur or something was just to happen, mind you. But the con of that is there is no downtime. You're constantly aware. You're constantly on edge. You're constantly up on everything. And it's almost draining to a certain degree. You can do that. You can be that for a long period of time. But the longer you are in that mode, in that groove, you're just becoming a shell of yourself, not because you want to, not because you need to, just because it is draining. It's just the natural occurrence to that. Pros and cons, once again. The overall, some might think that's a risk worth taking. Others might say, no, I want to be on autopilot. And then, of course, there's the stuff that's in between. But I thought I would just hit the not minor, but the major parts, the major points, because there's more. There's the in between, and then there's the combinations of the two, and there's the combinations of it all. There is no straightforward inner box. Check this equals that. No. This is real life. This is the real world. So there's going to be overlaps. There's the gray area. There's the whack, not the whack, but I guess you can say whack, but there's the white and the black mixed, and there's the gray area. There's not distinct colors where you can just insert and then excerpt. There's your answer. It doesn't work that way. It's not that simple. If it was that simple, you'd be an algorithm. You'd be a robot. And we already confirmed I am neither are you. This is just free advice that started up from me being aware, started up for me pondering while I was in my happy place, while I was in my happy zone, while I was doing my happy dance. Not the money man dance, by the way, but the happy one. Observations over. Thank you for listening. Be sure to check out the website, Xtra VDGsports.com. That is Xtra VDGsports.com. There's a YouTube, Xtra VDG, Xtra VDG. Also, if you're into sports, there's VDG Sports on YouTube. Like, subscribe, share. And there's also the website, VDGsports.com. Noob that stayed, noob that gave me an opportunity and chance. Thank you. Regs, you know what time it is. I got a G to the O. Peace out.